Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, B-Funk, thinking right out here in the lab. Well, I do what I do for you. Oh, I got something nice for you today. Got some good knowledge for you, some good information. Let's do it. Right is it? 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. Message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune to receive them. We got a good thing going. I appreciate you. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission. And that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is to get all right thinkers to do just that. With the information I give you, you tune in, implement it, you'll do just that. Know thyself. That's my mission. It should be your goal if you're a right thinker. Let's go. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but you know how to answer for yourself. Tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Help you know you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know. It's okay. They're spiritually asleep. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinking, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. Today, right thinkers, let's talk about that little thing called the heart. But yeah, let's talk about what the heart is. The ancients call it the ab. Okay? And it has a sign of a vessel, a vase, that everything is stored in. So that's the concept. So, in the ancient Egyptian proverb states, the heart is an excellent witness, an oracle in everyone. The heart knows, sees all. Okay? Now, King Thutmose III called the heart what? Excuse me. This is his concept. The heart is a guide in my affairs. The conscious, CONSCIENCE, our heart of a human is his and her own God. So if you want to know where God is in man, they let you know all the time where he is. Get to know that, why it's important. So let's talk about the heart. They call it the ab. So right now, the ab conscious, aka heart, I'm going to use the ab instead of heart. So you hear ab, you know that means the heart. Okay. The ab conscious, which is spelled CONSCIENCE. I keep trying to make that reference because it's a difference and it needs to be understood and known. This conscious and this conscious, they spell two different ways for a reason. Okay, so the ab conscious, which is the heart, is the part, watch this, of our consciousness, spelled with the CONSCIOUSNESS, which what? Which registers what? Our feelings, intent, and desires. And since the universe is mental, like I've been trying to explain to you, is all up here, one's thoughts are one's thoughts are of great importance to one's what? Spiritual evolution. If you're going to grow spiritually, your thoughts are important. Right thinking teaches positive thoughts. Watch this. Thoughts, here we go, are controlled, listen, by one's consciousness. Now, which one do you think is spelled? Conscience. That means this conscious. One's perception of reality, which is what? Which is dictated by one's level of wisdom, aka spiritual knowledge, one's knowledge of reality, and by one's subconscious understanding of reality. If one understands, here you go, if one understands oneself to be a mortal individual, what do you think will happen? One will live in such a manner and will develop mental concepts, conscious, spelled CONSCIOS, which is up here, and your subconscious, which is also up here, which will be, listen, reinforced by what? One's life experiences, one's level of consciousness, this side, can be raised, there you go, by what? A conscious effort to grow in wisdom through the what? Practice, the daily practice of what? Virtue, self and spiritual discipline, and the ability to right think by what? Control over the mind and the study of nature through what? Science and or spiritual teachings by a spiritual preceptor or teacher, sage, whatever you want to call them. But these are the things that you need to understand how the heart works. Watch this. Now it's about to get good. If one reaches the understanding that one is what? Immortal. Becoming conscious of who you are, aka Niha, spiritual enlightenment. Watch this. If you understand that you are immortal and eternal, what happened? One will watch this, with all other things, you be one with everything, becoming God, watch this. Then one will what? You will live within that reality of knowing thyself. And what happens? In the judgment of the heart, from the book coming forth by day, it is what? The heart, which one's deepest thoughts and ideas of oneself and reality, which is going to be what? Judged. Contents of your heart. Not how smart you are. Okay. If one commits a crime, watch this, knowing they are evil deeds, you just crossed the line, watch this, then one will suffer according to one's own assessment of one's own guilt, aka leading to what? A heavy heart. What that mean? On the other hand, if one lives spiritually and virtuously in the knowledge that one is a spiritual spirit, acting honestly, try to do one's best at when all times, while relinquishing what any desires for the results of the actions that they perform. It's always about selfless service. But watch this. Be they negative or positive outcomes, don't make a difference. Then one will what? Then one will not suffer what? The consequences of those actions. If the intent and the purpose is right, it don't make a difference to you one way or another how it go. Okay? One should strive to what? Maintain an equally light heart, whether a project succeeds or not. Why? Because one did what? One's best. And that is all that anyone could ask. But most importantly, you should strive to maintain such equanimity. Why? Because ultimately, neither the action nor their results can what? Provide true and lasting happiness. Material things will not give you that. They can neither what? Add nor detract from one's essence except in an illusory manner when the what? The mind believes in them, brainwashed, ignorance. This illusion, however, will what? Will only lead to mental agitation in the short run, and what happens? And disappointment in the long run. No winning that deal. Okay? Slim and none ain't a good odds. This is what? The path of ignorance. When you choose that path, then you are ignorant. And you're seeking what? Fulfillment in the world of what? Cause and effect. Because you did this, you want that. Thus, watch this. One should pursue detachment, meaning taking yourself out of the situation. Then one's conscious, here we go, CONSCINC. One's conscious will be what? Clear, and therefore one's mental involvement in matter, physical body, and the world will what? Not hold one's soul to experience what? Hell, suffering, in one's mind by what? Tormenting oneself with what? One's own fears, unfulfilled desires, and remorse, which could lead to what? Another incarnation. Because you didn't become enlightened, you didn't fulfill the things you wanted, so you'll be back. Otherwise, what? The soul reincarnates in pursuit of what? The fulfillment of its past desires, but in the process suffers what? The pains and the toils of a physical existence back into the physical body again. This concept is called karma in India, was encompassed in the mythology of philosophy of what? The Egyptian goddess Mishkanet. I told you about her. That's the bird from Brick Lady. That's the lady who gives you what you deserve. At Judgment Day, she's going to bring the contents of your heart, drop them on to you, go for it. And it's going to go on the scale against the feather of my eye. If your heart is full of malice, greed, envy, jealousy, all negative qualities, that weighs the heart down. You should be free of those things that purifies the heart and keep it light as Maya's feather, as they would tell you. Let me go on. We got some more. We just getting started. That was the heart part. Watch this. So now the cosmos, therefore, what? Provides a mechanism in which one's own conscious, spelled with the science, dispenses exact justice. How? Because it, the witness, is the oracle. It sees, it knows all that goes on. Justice to what? Itself. You are in accordance with its own actions, your WRIGHT. Better than any judicial system on earth. The best judge of you is you. The heart is your judge. The heart, seen as what? The seat of the soul, is therefore the most important factor deciding what? The experiences of the spirit. Only through a purified heart, selfless service, righteous and virtuous living, it is possible to what? To ascend to the heights of wisdom and intuitive understanding about the nature of one's own existence, aka know thyself. Watch this. But how you do that? The living of truth and righteousness, which is represented by Maya, is symbolized by what? The feather, okay, of Maya that she wears in the bandana around her head, the spring. And you notice that feather don't move. Why you think that is? The feather should be done. Watch this. Now, living Maya is symbolized by the feather, and it should be done when? While still alive. Put the work in while you're here. Because what? After death, there is, what's this? After death, if there is a few sins, watch this, the heart will be lighter than Maya, But, and the owner is fit for what? Eternal life. That's the name of the game. That's the game that they played from the ancient time. So they wanted to make sure when they was judged at Judgment Day that their heart would be light as Maya's feathers so they can go on into the afterlife for eternity. But however, if the heart, here you go, is heavy with what? Sin, anger, fear, ignorance, jealousy, egoism, or if it is too elated, full of itself, okay, full of what? Desires for the world, worldly things, and pleasures of the flesh, then what? Then it will be heavier than Maya. That's a problem. Watch this. It will not be fit for what? Life eternal. Yet. There's a wait a minute. There you go. But however, this heart did not practice what? The virtues well enough, and they didn't purify the heart good enough. Simple as that. If you fall short, back to the line and try it again. But now watch the, here we go. The ab consciousness, what the science set up, can also be what? An excellent guide. Here we go. Or inner oracle. Why? For those who wish to what? Live a life of what? Truth, honesty, and justice for all. Those who put aside what? Their foolish pride and their egoism can use what? The higher intellect now within them, aka Tahuti, to find the truth that what? That does not come through thinking. The ab, your higher self, aka God, subconscious mind, may be assessed by what? Quieting what? The thoughts and then asking a question followed by silence once again. The answer will come seemingly what? Out of nowhere when the mind is clear. Meditation does that. The mind is not the soul. Don't get it twisted. Let me give you a quick picture of what it looks like here. Again, the top is the all-encompassing eye, all-encompassing sun disk with the two Uranos in the wings. You see, that's the universal bob. You see that bob, the bird carrying the shin, that head. That should be your head. Okay, that's how it represented. Your head should be on the spirit, aka your bob, opposite of the ab. That's what you want to take back home with you. That's how you go. God is the heart. You are the conscious. You become one with God. That way, you get your wings, you get your conscious, you wake up, and you go back to what you came, back to the universal body, the spirit that's in all. That sustain. I get that to you, but I just want to show you the picture. Now, right here, it tells you the mind is not the soul. Okay, the mind is limited and subject to what? Ignorance, primarily ignorance about what? The Ba, which is the soul. Those who devote themselves to the religion, here you go, of the mind, those who indulge in sensory pleasures, or those who think themselves to be exalted due to what? Their intellectual prowess. Because you got a degree, because you got a title, you think you better. And thinking that their mental thoughts and body are all there is to life. So they're going to get all they can, do whatever they can to gather all the pleasure, have all the fun before life is over. Not a good idea. Watch this. And you will undergo what? Death of the what? The illusory ego at the time when what? Your physical death comes. On the other hand, they who use the mind as what? As a tool to what? To develop your higher intuitive aspects of your character, of it will what? Will transcend the mind. They will not die. If you practice live Mayat, you won't die. Watch this. They will have attained what? Immortality by the way they live while still alive on earth. Living Mayat, practicing her philosophy. Now, developing the power of intuition. asset is essential on the spiritual path. You need to have your intuitive knowledge in place. Master your asset aspects. That's what you know, have power, understanding, and knowing who you are. And this is what? The only way to become one with God. When Christ told you, I'm the way, he was telling you, this is the way. It ain't but one way. Okay? Becoming conscious and become anointed. Know thyself. And intuition, watch this, is what? Is perfection, while the thinking mind is related to what? The egoistic visions of one's self as an individual. That's the ego. Individuals are who? Mortals, and mortals die. However, word, intuition, again, is the spirit, which is what? Eternal and immortal. That's the intuitive aspect of your character. You have to become that. Why? Now, the goal is to what? Develop your intuitional capabilities and to leave the ego mind, the lower mind, behind. Put it in the service mode. Step on his neck. Get him out the driver's seat, so to speak. Stop letting him run your life with your emotions, your anger, your jealousy, your hatred toward. All that's bringing your heart heavy, and it's only going to hurt you in the end. Light in your heart. Let that stuff go. Stop carrying all the extra baggage in your heart. Never mind the mind. Watch this. You leave the lower mind behind. Watch this. We must train through wisdom, developing what? Your higher mind by intellect to what? Understand it is a spirit and not a physical body or impure mind. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. We just got finished going over when you're dealing with, we must train again through wisdom and developing the higher mind, your intellect. Again, God don't need belief. God needs to be understood with intellect and to understand what this. It is a spirit and not a physical body or an impure mind. Let's talk about the ab and the ba. Well, what's that? Remember, it's interesting to note that the ab, spelled backwards, is ba. These two words, however, are more intricately related than just in their spellings. Our ignorance causes us to be fearful to the point that we perform negative deeds, which we later what? Regret. After listening to our conscience, which is spelled with the science, which is your heart, in order for us to connect with the Ba, our real self, we must what? Purify the ab. How do you do that? Good question. We must strive to grow in peace and purity of the heart. How? By listening to the inner voice of your soul. Strive to see what? With the inner eye, the third eye, the heart. Why? It sees the reality and not subject to what? Emotional or personal error. It's perfect. It sees the essence. It's not ignorant. Intuition then is what? The most important quality to develop, aka I said. It is interesting to note what? That recent recent documented experiments at top medical researchers, watch this, institutions and hospitals in the United States show that the major cause of heart attacks in modern society is not related to dietary problems, nope, but to what? Heartache. This heartache is caused by what? Listen, feelings of emptiness inside, a lack of meaning in one's life, depression, due to the lack of what? Purpose, feeling like there's nothing for me to do, okay? Job dissatisfaction, going to a job doing that you don't really want to do. Got to pay the bills, got to make that money, so you got to go in there and do what, that's never good. And watch this, a feeling of what? Unhappiness and a feeling of what? Mistrust of others. Don't trust nobody. Think everybody's against you. Paranoid. These is all self-inflicted problems. Watch this. These are all what? Ego-based elements. The self, the ego self. Watch this. These are all ego-based elements that are caused by what? You ready? Living in a manner that is what? Against one's nature, aka grain. What's right? If you do what's right, you will be rewarded naturally. When you do what's wrong, if he can reward you for doing right naturally, what you think he can do when you do wrong? Same thing. Understand that. He's a fair God. One is unable to, watch this, one is unable to perceive the universality of all people and believes that one that one is separate from everything and everyone. Me, I. You're an island, my man. No man's an island. So if you want to stand by yourself, you don't. And really, the body has to have the spirit for it to stand. So you got life. Of course, you stand it. It's just that you're ignorant of who you are. So that's why you do what you do. Watch this. One becomes caught up in what? Here you go. The idea of what? Me against the world. That's what Tupac said. It's me against the world. That mentality, that attitude. See? This comes, watch this, from our identification of what? Ourself. Not our true self, but with our ego self. Our ego mind, personality, and what? The body, which are what? Mortal, and happens to be subject to what? Error. Instead of with the immortal higher part of ourselves, Haru, which is what? Eternal and one with all other beings. Becoming one with God, becoming one with all things. That's the concept. I'm going to end it on that note. I see the clock is running, so I'll be back. Another lesson for you. But in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, me 100 miles a day. So I never know that right thinkers like you passed away. Hope you enjoyed the lesson.